How are
Welcome,
you?
Andreas, to Metaladium Pages. It's a great pleasure, or website. It's a great pleasure for us to have the chance to do this interview. Thanks for a lot for your time. First of all, how are you and how is the band Vande Plas?
Oh, I'm personally great. It's springtime here, and the band is at the moment we are really busy writing each other uh, um, um, some WhatsApp about planning a tour for spring 25.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Nice. So your new album, The Empyrean Equation of the Long Lost Things, long name. So it's set to be released on April 19th. So what can you tell us about these themes and sound explorer on this record?
This time the record is not a concept album. It's more like different stories about things. I think Andy works on that stories because what is going on in the world, what is going on in his mind. So that's very important for him to talk about that stuff in form of a song. But it's not a concept album, which is one complete story this time because we did that since Christ Zero, I think. And the music is well, it's I think it's in a lot of parts it's a little bit like back to the roots of One Plus when we started, and we um, as we when we started the first CD was more straight ahead rock, more rock and roll stuff, I would say, with little prog influences, and we never thought about being proggy. It came to us, and but we went a little back in time
Hmm.
with that
Okay.
production.
Oh, nice, nice. So this album marks the departure of the keyboardist Gunta Verno and the
Yes.
addition of the Alessandro Del Vecchio, with the addition of the Alessandro Del Vecchio. How has this change in lineup affected the songwriting process and the overall sound of the band?
Um, the overall sound of the band is not very different. It's of course it's different because Alessandro, he has a little different style to Günther, but in total he fits in perfect. And the songs are of course now, because Stefan is writing all the songs, it's a little bit more based on guitar riffs than it was before. um, I think in the last CDs it was uh, going more and more to Stefan's direction, but now Stefan has written all the songs. But I think in future the Alessandro will also write some songs. But the guitar, I think it's not the guitar is very much leading the songs on the CD.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Okay. And how has your songwriting process evolved over the years?
Um, yeah, I think it became more and more complex. Starting with Christ Zero, we went in a more and more complex direction, and it's still complex. Uh, what makes it interesting for me as a musician, not just to go 4/4 and forward. It's something you have to work on, and I also think it makes it interesting for a listener to explore a song
Hmm.
for a longer time, because you
Well,
find out more and more stuff. If you've listened to it twice or third time, you still will explore that song
mm,
again.
okay, okay. You've been a band for nearly 40 years and have maintained a consistent lineup for most of what of that time. So what is the secret to your longevity and stability as a band?
Uh, I think the one one very important thing is we don't see us every day. So that's for a long relationship. It's maybe sometimes, as we grew up as kids, Andy and Stefan and me, we've been in that band from '84 till now, and so we rehearsed every time we could. So that what was at least we rehearsed 3 times a week, and if you grow older, it's okay to have a little distance. So Andy and me, we live uh, the closest. So Andy and me, we live maybe 1 kilometer distance, so very close, and we really meet more than the others. Uh, um, because we live in the same town, sometimes we have a beer in a bar together, but we don't rehearse like we rehearsed when we were kids, because every rehearsal was very important, and now we everybody has his own projects where he's involved, and so it's very refreshing when we work together again for Vande Plas. And but I have to say we are still good friends, so there's no bad feelings between us, and it's still that you like the other guys and you still like to work with them.
Okay, and well, relating to the promotion of this new album, so what are your plans for touring in support of the Imperial Equation of the Long Lost Things?
Yeah, now, first of all, we have that release date, and that's very important for us to see what happens then. How are the sales? That's always very important. We have very good reviews with that CD, but then the next step is how are the sales? Because sales make everything much easier. If your CD is very good selling, so it's much easier to book a tour. Because interest is there much stronger. But beside of that, we are planning to go on the tour on the road again, because that's what you have to do. Yeah, as a band, you have to go in the clubs and play live shows. Then you are a band. If you are not on the road again, you're just a project. You're just doing CDs, and that's it. For me, it's very important to go on the road, and of course, Corona was not that good, because last time we wanted to go on tour, Corona happened and we did nothing. It was not possible to go on tour because it was too dangerous. You have to cancel the gigs. What happened to a lot of bands? You book the tour and you have to cancel the gigs, and you have had a lot of work and a lot of money to get there, and then you have to cancel it. So we stopped that, but the plans are there for 25 to go on tour in spring and in autumn.
Okay, nice to know. A lot of plans for the next year. So the COVID-19, as you mentioned, it has had a significant impact on the music industry, especially touring, as you mentioned. So how do
Yeah.
you see the live music scene evolving in the post-pandemic era?
It's coming back right now. So that's also a reason why we plan is for 25, because we don't have the time for autumn 24, because we are busy with other stuff, with theater projects. So it's if you plan a tour, you have to go 1 year ahead. So if you want to plan a tour now for autumn, you don't get good dates. So if you want to have good dates for playing clubs and shows, you have to plan 1 year ahead, and that's spring 25. And we are busy now doing theater productions. But I see it also here in our hometown area that live activities are coming back, and people are going again to live activities. They were a little bit afraid. I think till it came back in the like maybe 1 year, that people are not afraid that hard anymore to go on places where it's sticky, where you are very close to each other. A lot of people don't like that anymore still, but there are possibilities to play live. I play a lot of live shows beside Vande Plas with for example, a blues session or a piano player artist which plays his own stuff around Kaiserslautern. So it's possible to play live again. So in a very safe way, because everybody has arranged his abilities to make live music, to make sure everybody is as sure as possible, but you can't avoid meeting people which are sick. If it is Corona or anything else, you have to go back to normal. And that's what's happening now since maybe 1 year.
Oh, yeah, you are right. So with the increasing cost of touring and the vast amount of music being released, how do you stay competitive as a band in a current music landscapes?
Yeah, everything became more expensive. If you want to go on tour now, so if I just calculated that for Vande Plas, because for the upcoming shows we were talking about that, Stefan and me, and I said I have the calculation of the last shows, and that was when we left our rehearsal room and went to a gig. It was like, it depends on how far to travel and how long is a trip, but it depends on 1,200 to 1,500 euros just to bring the band on the road. And so till that point, you don't make any money as a band or as Vande Plas. And now that it's about 1,800 to 2,000 euros to bring Vande Plas to a club somewhere. Of course, if it's closer, you don't have that big travel costs. But so it's between 1,200 and 1,800 and 2,000 euros, because you have to pay the crew, you have to pay the technicians, you have to pay the bus, and everything is more expensive. So that's hard, because not everybody wants to pay more a higher price for a ticket, but that's what has to happen. Everybody wants more money now. That's really that has had really an impact the last 5 years. What happened to that scene? Yeah.
Well, yeah, okay. So in this aspect, what are your thoughts on the role of the technology in music, particularly in the rise of the streaming services and artificial intelligence?
It makes it harder for each artist because nobody thinks about that if you get stuff for free or almost for free. If you want to make music and you have to bring your product to the people, it costs money, and it just makes sense if you are able to sell your music for money, and so you can go on. And a lot of kids, they don't think about that, but I think they just consume the music. But I think the fans which listen to music like Vande Plas, they are our age, and they really think about that, and they buy CDs because they know, if I don't buy the CD and support the artist, that artist someone has to stop, because it's not about just making money as an artist, it's about, can you make your living as an artist if you don't sell CDs anymore? And if you have AI for music, I think that really doesn't work, making music in that way, because in some kinds or styles of music, it maybe will work, but not in rock and roll music, where I would say Vande Plas is in that genre, rock music. You will hear that it's not made from real people. It's the same thing if you have a movie where you I think maybe 15 years ago they were thinking about not working with real actors. They will animate that, and that didn't work as well. So you want to have that real person in a movie, that real actor, that real artist, and I think you will have that real artist in music.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. Nice. So, and with this aspect of artificial intelligence, so do you see yourselves using artificial intelligence in your music or creative process in the future? Perhaps it's a good tool for many musicians now.
For me personally, I don't see it at all. So because when when I started to play drums and music was for me became interesting. So that's the first thing I wanted to do was to make music together with other people. It was not about I wanted to be a drummer by myself and that's it. The first interesting thing was to play music together with a companion, with a guitar player, whatever, to make something together with other people. So for me, AE is totally not interesting. I don't know if you are forced to use it in future, but I'm not that kind of guy which tries to bring it into Vande Plus. So I don't see it at the moment.
Okay, okay. Um, Obviously, as I mentioned it, we are very close to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the band. So, what are perhaps, or what are your plans for celebrating your 40th anniversary as a band in 2026?
I have to say the anniversary is if you have to if you look back in the history of Vande Plus and you really count it out perfectly, the anniversary is over because I came into a band which was called Exodus in '81, and we have had to change that name because of that band Exodus in the States where Kirk Hammett was in. And so he still owe us a name because we have had to change the name because of them. But he doesn't know it and he doesn't care, I think. And Andy came in the band at '83. So we saw him singing in a German punk rock band called Rock Zock, and we asked him to join our band. And that was the time we have had to change the name. And we came up with Vande Plus because it sounded a little bit Van Halen style, and we saw it on the back of a Jaguar, which were designed or interior designed and tuned Jaguars in the '80s, called Vande Plus from a Belgian Dutch family name. We liked it, and that was '83. I think we started playing '83 under that name. But yeah, the first disc we ever made was called Raining in My Heart and going around in circles in '86. That was when Stefan joined the band. And so from that point of view, there is, I would say, yeah, it's about now that Vande Plus is 40 years old. Yeah, but there are no really plans. Like if you grow older, that's always the same thing. Your birthday is very important if you are 12. And nothing happens because if you are 18, something changes. You are allowed to do some more stuff, and then it's very important to have a birthday. And if you grow older, if you are older than 30, you don't want to talk about your birthday anymore because it just means you get older. And so I think nobody of us thought about, yeah, we have a anniversary. But good you brought it up. I have to talk to the guys that we maybe do something, at least in 26.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, yeah, great to know. At this point in your career, how you define success for yourselves? It is selling albums, critical acclaim, or something else entirely different? Who knows?
For me, it's of course it makes it easier if your sales are well, it makes everything easier. It makes easier to tour. It makes easier to have a better record deal. Whatever. It always makes money. Makes always things easier. And if you have big sales, you get more money, and everything is easier. But for me, I have to say, for me personally, it's a success. I mean, Vande Plas is not a very, very big band, but when I started, I never dreamed of that I can make my living out of music, you know. So what Stefan, Andy, and me did, we learned a regular job, we studied, and then you went on a point where you said, okay, I have my diploma, whatever, so to have a backup. But we choose that way because you have to make a decision somewhere, and we decided at that time, all five of us, we decided, okay, let's go with for the music, and because we are able to play that rock musicals where you have to be able to read music. So we said, okay, everybody has to be able to read music, so we can make that jobs on theaters, and that makes it much easier for us to go on as musicians, because you grow bigger, you get better if you work in that scene also, that doesn't disturb the metal musicians in yourself, and it just makes you better, and it makes it easier for the band to go on financially. And so that happens till since 93. So since 93 we've been able, 92, 93, we've been able to live from the music. And so for me, that's a success, because Vande Plas never stopped. We never stopped playing music, making creative new music. And so for me, it's a dream come true to every morning I wake up, I said to myself, so it's so great to be able to live as a musician. So that's, for me personally, is a success, and I think everybody else in Vande Plas is thinking that way.
Okay, okay, interesting. A lot of things. So looking back on your nearly 40-year career, as I mentioned it, so what are some of your proudest accomplishments?
Hmm. So you mean what is the biggest thing you
Yes,
reached?
yes, as a band, as a musician,
Yeah.
also your
Um,
proudest accomplishments.
um, I think looking back, it's always different, because you reach some points where you really you think, wow, that was great, and if you get older, it changes your point of view. But what was a really big thing for all of us, and still is that we've been able to tour with Stream Theater for 6 weeks, doing that all over Europe tour in, I think it was 98 till 99, or 97 till 98, because we went over New Year with that tour, and that was really big for us, being able to play support for I mean the biggest band in that genre. So that was a big success for us. It was not a financial success, but to reach that many people was just possible because we've been put on that tour. That was very big success for us. And then to be able to play big festivals like Wacken Open Air or Bangor Head Festival, that's something which is still in our minds, and also to be able to play on really big theaters all over Europe, because we played in Austria as well, in Germany, with our own productions, not Jesus Christ Superstar or Rocky Horror Show, Hair, whatever, Chess, um, Rock of Ages. I played a lot of Rock of Ages in the last years, and but we playing our own productions, so self-written music on theaters. That's a big success.
Hmm. Okay, okay. Well, before we finish, and one of the last questions for this interview, what's your point of view now about Germany in these times? Because as you can see, Germany, especially into the extreme metal, there are a lot of progressive, technical, experimental bands into the Germany now. It's not compared like the you when you born in the 80s or when you grow up in the 90s. It's very different because 80s and 90s belongs to the heavy metal and thrash metal Germany. But now there's a lot of bands in Germany playing technical, progressive, experimental, especially with the death metal.
Oh, okay. So I have to say I'm not really exploring that much the scene still, but uh, if I have a look at each musician, I have to say the abilities, the technical skills new musicians, young musicians have are incredible, because when we grew up, you really have had to go to a teacher or somebody who shows you a lick, whatever, or you have to sit in front of a TV or beside a drummer or a musician, guitar player in a club playing right at that moment, and there you can find out how it works. So that was not that easy like it is today. If you want to learn an instrument, you have so much possibilities to learn easy by internet. You can reach out to the best musicians by internet, book courses which are recorded, and you buy it and you can have a look at it whenever you want, like Dramero is doing for drummers, which is very easy to get taught in a very professional, high level way. And so I think that's the same for keyboards, keyboard players, guitarists, bass players. And so the technical skills of instrumentalists are much better than they were decades ago. And so these people, they want to show what they can do, and progressive music is the best way. If you are rock orientated and you want to show what you are able to play, though, that's a music to to make for that young people. And so it's no wonder that this music, if you have a band formed now, it's still hard to form a band and to stay with that band for years. So I think a lot of musicians which want to make music are really good musicians, and then they do that kind of music. So that's no wonder that we have that big scene right now.
Hmm. Okay, well, that is true. That is true. A lot of new musicians with a lot of sites to learn the instruments now. That's way different than when I learned. Also, I played a little guitar, bass, and drum. I did myself during the 80s and 90s, so it's very different now.
I
You're
mean,
right.
to learn an instrument is still hard. It takes time. It takes
Yeah.
years. It takes lessons. If you have to learn each day, you have to play each day 2 or 3 hours to get good. But you have a better teaching platform, because you can go on internet today and find out how something works. And even if you wanted to learn your instrument and you practiced 2 or 3 or 4 hours a day decades ago, you don't have had that explanations that
Hmm.
good like now.
Well, okay, okay. Well, Andreas, the sad time arrived at this interview. I hope you enjoyed this one like me. I loved the band and plans for a lot of time. We did this review on Metalarium, so I hope you enjoyed the review. Also, well, congratulations on this new one. It's a great one. And
Thank you.
perhaps, do you want to add something to your Latin American fans that expect someday Band and Plus arrive here on a full tour? Who knows? And obviously Metallium followers.
Yes, I like the interview very much. Thanks for your questions, which really went deep into the history and the way Vande Plas works. And of course, we want to go on the road again to play everywhere. We are able to play, and we are invited to play because it's you need supporters, and there. Big thanks to each fan which supports each band, not just OnePlus, just the whole music scene to make it happen that bands can go on making new music and bring it also live on stage.